It is time to bring the action. Short oval racing, 1 1/4 miles, the first of 2 races this weekend for the Bommarito Automotive Group 500, and Will Power back on the pole, but he's got a youngster who wants to make his mark in this series and in this IndyCar world. They're jumping out of line, there's a collision! Rossi, Pagano, Andretti, Carpenter.
Askew.
Oh my goodness.
Very late start, and everybody was keyed up to go. It looked like a bunch of cars jumped out of line and ran into the back of Pagano, which caused everybody to start spinning. We'll get a replay, but Rossi's just the season of misfortune just continues.
Pagano's able to get going again.
So looks like some left front damage, perhaps. Left front looks towed in. Rossi just has to be beside himself with the luck that he's had, or lack thereof, this season. It's just been a ridiculous amount of bad luck.
It's just been a total disaster for him this year. Just new contract coming into this year, long term, and just looking at the championship, he's going for somebody.
He's going to go talk to somebody. I don't know if it was Pagano that popped out early.
It looked further back, Towns. It looked like guys in the back were just jumping out of line, ready to go.
But Power really dragged a long time for the start there as they go down and talk to the 88. It looks like Colton Herta's crew. That's Brian Barnhart, who calls the race for Colton Herta, a teammate for Alexander Rossi.
Might be upset at his teammate.
Well, but he probably doesn't have a full slate of information. Neither do we, but we're about to. Let's take a look at what happened here. We're watching Simon Pagano there.
These guys in the back here start jumping out real quick.
Oh, Pelot went first.
No, it was Askew. Askew ran into the back of Pagano and kind of started the whole thing.
I know, but Pelot kind of got the jump. Paul jumped out of line, and there goes Pelot. There goes Pagano. Now Askew comes and to follow and has to jump on the brakes. And so it was 3 cars that thought everybody was going, and it all checked up, accordioned up, and we'll watch here from Rossi.
There's Colton Herta on the right there.
Green.
All right, ready to do it again. Take 2. Let's see if we can get a clean green start. Will Power shoots off turn 4. Let's go. Let's get this going second time around. Pato Award will be watching for Dixon in that orange car. Ericsson's there. And here comes Jack Harvey on the inside.
Well, that was a pretty early start by Will Power. He went about 2/3 corner and got spread out, but Dixon now makes a mistake as his teammate Ericsson sweeps around the outside, tries for an outside move, 3 wide.
Harvey right around the outside. Beautiful move from Jack.
I think that was Sato down low, but Harvey, the brave one, working the high cushion early here as Dixon managed to hold off his teammate Ericsson. Let's see if he can close the gap as Newgarden makes a move on Sato into 1.
Really surprising. Dixon has fell back that far. Big mistake by Hunter Ray at the apex, touches the curb, and it jumps sideways on him, and now he's trying to hold off Rinus VK.
VK on RHR. Connor Daly in the Gallagher, the blue car there, ready to pounce. Hunter Ray has to let VK go by.
Oh, here comes Connor Daly. Hunter Ray got the air taken off of him. Connor Daly pops out big on the brakes, Townsend down the inside.
That's what we saw last year from Connor Daly, the bravest driver. He loves firing into the inside and make the moves here. He loves this track, and he's going forward right now as long as he can hold off Hunter Ray here into 3.
Hunter Ray takes a look, but there's no option there. There's 2 grooves here. I've seen some outside passes. Santino on the outside right there, so we've got a 2-groove track.
Pagano back out is currently 3 laps down, but it's not easy for Will Power, and I would bet he's on the radio saying, hey, give me some help here, man.
He's on fresh tires now. He came in and made some adjustments to that car, but he's going to let his teammate go by now. He's pretty much out of this race now. He just needs to survive. Pato Award looks up on the top side and does the over-under, cross-under there. Nice move.
Got a car on pit lane. It is Graham Rahal, Kevin.
And Graham Rahal was one of those I really thought, like Townsend was talking about, would try to do it on 2 more. In fact, he told me, I'm hoping there's an early yellow. We'll come in and top off, and this explains it. That's why they came in, because they've got an issue.
Looking at the TCU here.
Something going on with the power plant back there, so.
See all the helitape coming off that covers up the seams
Yeah,
of the
3
engine
and 4 is
cover.
where my balance is bad. Just no rear grip at all. My right rear tire is getting really hot.
I wonder if they're going to make a setup change if he was so loose, Townsend, or if it's an engine issue. But look at Pagano just getting swallowed up by these cars.
Well, and stacking up a bunch of guys as Connor Daly makes a move on Takuma Sato. So that really is your best chance to make some moves, is lap traffic, as Hunter Ray might have a big run here on Sato.
Big loose by Connor Daly mid-corner as he tried to go in on Pagano, but the door was closed. Sato takes a look.
Not into turn 3. Connor Daly says not up in here because that's his corner.
Plus, the pace laps to start the race have to be factored into the fuel burn, but the tire wear surprisingly looking very mild, much less tire degradation than last year, as Joseph Newgarden is the first of the lead group to come down pit lane. Kevin, coming to you.
And we'll see Will Power in a moment, too. I think he might have been able to go longer, but he said, I'm really losing a lot of time with lap traffic here. So Joseph Newgarden is the first of the front runners to come in. Pato O'Ward is also making a stop. They're just a few laps short of being able to get it done on one more stop, so it is still possible. It's going to take a lot of yellow for this to happen. O'Ward coming into his box. The Arrow McLaren team was fantastic at the Indianapolis 500 to be able to pick him up 2-3 spots on each sequence. They'll do a little turn of front wing for the rookie in the Indianapolis 500, the best rookie, second year in IndyCar. He's back out. And the leader, Will Power, started from pole, has led every lap, is going to be making the slow drive down pit lane here. And he is going to have an easy in with an open box in front of him and an easy out as well. Power said very little on the radio, but a few laps ago did say I'm starting to go a little bit loose. So we'll see if they make any kind of a wing adjustment on the Verizon Chevrolet. No noticeable changes, and Power is back out.
Slightly slower stop than Pato O'Ward, so we'll watch the undercut here. Here comes Pato, I think, in turn 1, and I think he's going to get him. He's long gone.
He's in a little bit of traffic, though, right there with Tony Kanaan, but he's got Will Power in the crossover
perfectly.
Meanwhile, Scott Dixon stays out. Where will Dixon blend? When will he pit? How fast can he go with clean air and make up the gap? Look at this. Talk about crushing it on a green flag stop for a young driver like Pato O'Ward to clear almost 5 seconds. Well, a little more than 5 seconds on Will Power on the exchange. Something must have happened to Power with traffic because O'Ward just nailed it in all phases. Excellent stop. It was 7.2 seconds. But the in-lap and the out-lap, Paul, were sensational.
Yeah, those Arrow McLaren guys, Hinch, you can say they're one of the fastest in the pit lane.
First and second in the pit stop competition last year at Indianapolis, as we see Pato really hustling through here. As you can see, he's working the wheels as hard as he can. There's no grip down there, but that is an impressive outlap.
He is driven, so driven to become an IndyCar race winner. He's trying to clear Santino Ferrucci here. Different pit sequence there between those two guys. And Ferrucci is hanging tough on the low line. O'Ward the outside and couldn't execute the pass. Hang on, Pato. Wow. And you never know what's going to happen here either at Worldwide Technology Raceway. Simon Pagano, last year's Indy 500 champion, caught up in a coming to the green, like before the race crash. And Kevin, race control deemed that he did not meet the 105% performance window or barrier. He's been asked to withdraw from this race.
And as we told you a little while ago, Simon was wondering, is there still something wrong with the car because it was just evil? That's no fun at all.
There's Taylor Kyle. I was mentioning him before we went to the break. He's in a big position for a young man. He's got a terrific head on his shoulders, and he knows how to manage these guys very well. These young guys, Askew and Pato O'Ward, and they've really reveled in this new formation of Arrow McLaren SP. The last two Indy Lights champions. This man here, Pato O'Ward, won the Lights Championship in 2018, and Askew won it last year, 2019.
He's in a nice position here, Townsend, because he's got his teammate a lap down as a buffer. And Kevin, we got Newgarden coming in early as well.
And Joseph Newgarden was the first of the lead group to pit the last time as well. So this time he only went about 41 laps. Will Power is also coming down on the early side of things. So I think they've essentially decided we can't get them right now on the track. We're within the window to make it a 3-stopper. So let's go ahead and come in now and see if we can find some clean track and run some fast laps.
Well, that was a lot faster stop. The last one was a 7.8. That was a 6.3, Townsend. So the in and the out, he knew he lost on last time. We'll see if he makes it up here as Hunter Ray comes in. Plugging it in, tires going on.
Drop wing adjustment. Connor Daly going with the same strategy. So now if you're Pato O'Ward and Taylor Keel, you've got to think about maybe coming in as Jack Harvey pits from 4th place. Hinch, down to you.
Jack Harvey having a phenomenal run here inside the top 5, hits his marks perfectly. He's got scuffed Firestone tires going on that car. They would have scuffed him in practice. Speedway fuel is in. No changes to the number 60. That was a phenomenal stop from the Meyershank Racing crew.
Pretty impressive that they matched Team Penske to the 10th on that pit stop. Such a huge demand on the tire changers. Let's see where Jack Harvey cycles back out.
O'Ward and Dixon still on track. O'Ward has pulled away from Dixon 2 seconds, so we'll see if they peel off here and come in the pit lane here in the next couple laps. Right now, O'Ward is really in control.
So there goes Newgarden VK past Jack Harvey, so it looks like he'll lose a couple spots on that exchange. But O'Ward stays out.
Look at the pace here. The guys on new tires right now. 25.6 for Newgarden, at 26.0 for O'Ward on those old tires. So really not a huge amount of fall off.
Not at all, especially when you consider VK's been out there for a few laps after his pit stops doing a 25.7.
Guys, I want to show you something about passion and enthusiasm. Look in the background here at Harvey's stop for a gentleman standing in a pink shirt. Right there, back left. He's clapping his hands already. That's Jim Meyer, as in Meyershank Racing. Joined Mike Shank a couple of years ago. He is the CEO of Sirius XM Satellite Radio. He's an Indianapolis man, and boy, does he love IndyCar racing. And he works in a combination of New York City, of course, where Sirius headquarters are, but home is Indianapolis. And he just thinks the world of this driver and this team and this sport. I think that's pretty cool when you've got an executive in that position who loves coming to the racetrack on weekends. Caution is out.
Oh, this is
not good for everybody that just pitted.
Yes, this is great for O'Ward because he's got a whole bunch of guys a lap down now.
Oh, and we understand that there's weather in the area, and I immediately look to the upper left-hand corner of the screen. We are past halfway.
Yes.
The radar was not looking good for a long time. It still doesn't look that great.
And guys, I think that's why you didn't see Pato O'Ward, Scott Dixon, and others come in. They didn't have to yet, so 2-ply. One, if you come in and someone else doesn't and it goes yellow, you're a lap and a half behind. So you got to run as far as you can. But they also knew that there's a chance it might start raining here at this point. So there are several hoping this passes through very, very quickly.
Rain on the camera right there in the upper corner. So the strategy is exactly played right. I'm surprised that a lot of these guys took a pit stop right at the halfway point when they knew weather was coming.
They have to be looking at the same radar we are.
We are past the midway point, under caution at the Bommarito Automotive Group 500. Raindrops, pits are open. Here come the leaders. Pato O'Ward, the rookie, winner of the Indianapolis 500 Rookie of the Year, is in first. He's about midway through the pit lane. They've been excellent on stops, and they get away quick. We'll watch the race further up. Scott Dixon has pit out, so he had a little tougher end. O'Ward is not quite getting there. That's almost a dead heat off. I think O'Ward had him. Marcus Ericsson is going to come out third. And then Felix Rosenquist. So the Ganassi 3 out there, and O'Ward did win the race off pit road.
That was close. That was a great one because O'Ward had to get in and out of the box. Dixon had a straight shot out on full launch, so that was really close. That's good stuff.
So too from the NTT Data Honda and the Chip Ganassi racing team for Felix Rosenquist. He jumped up a position on that PNC Bank race off pit road. There you have it, as close as that. Dixon closest to us, and camera, Award on the other side. That was super tight. Now you'll see Marcus Ericsson and Felix Rosenqvist coming out.
Yeah, so that's not an easy out for Award right there at all. Lots of wheel spin, so you're losing a little bit of time there, and you see Dixon launches it out right there. So awesome stuff.
It's when you look at a one-on-one fight, a youngster who's had no IndyCar wins versus one of the best all-time and certainly the best in the modern era in Scott Dixon, who's broaching his 50th win. How about Tony Kanaan? TK's up there in that Big Machine Vodka Chevrolet for AJ Foyt Racing, the all-black car. As the 21-year-old Mexican driver lights it up, he's keen to get a quick start. Let's go racing again.
Youth and experience right here. You got Dixon, the experienced one, all these young guys, and look at Herta around the outside of Rosenqvist.
Sato around the outside.
Rosenqvist with a big slide, almost lost it with Colton Herta on the high side.
Everybody stacked up behind Graham Rahal, who's Sato right there.
Ferrucci around the outside of Sato. Sato almost lost it as well. On board with Rosenqvist.
Ferrucci now making big moves. He was almost a lap down to the leader, Pato Award, and now he's back in the mix.
Now Rinus VK making a move on Rosenqvist. So Rosenqvist in the span of 2 laps has dropped several positions.
He got swallowed up on that restart.
Well, he's probably swallowing to just try to regain his breath because he had such a big moment in the middle of 1 and 2. A remarkable save. Watch this.
Got a pretty big gap, and so it wasn't like he was really stacked up, but he had Herta right there, and he jumped sideways big time. And everybody goes filing by on the inside. Look at Santino thread the needle.
That was so close to collecting Colton Herta's left rear. See Sato up ahead. He went sideways as well as Ferrucci went right around the outside.
Keep focusing forward. One's on the box.
So Award already has pulled out a 1 second lead. His car is super strong, and Rosenqvist here still hanging on. Here's another angle here. Herta just perfectly placed.
What a terrific job from Rosenqvist to hang on with the 88 car of Herta just inches from his right front at about 130 miles an hour. Great piece of driving, unfortunately.
The 88 car in the pits, kind of the last chance for Andretti Autosport to try to get a solid result. The 18 is also in. Colton Herta is down and away. It looks like a clean stop so far for the Dale Coyne Racing team. Oh no, we got a problem on the outside front. The right front, they've not got the tire on yet. Finally gets him away, but guys, another great run for Santino Ferrucci has all come undone here in pit lane.
Unbelievable. Last year, Santino Ferrucci had a win in the bag until the final pit stop. This year, once again, issues. Watch the right front. Wheel goes on, no wheel nut, I think, as the right front tire changer is trying to get a spare, so he must have lost it on the exchange.
He's been riddled this year with bad pit stops, and the final stop again is a bad one, and we'll see how this all cycles out. He was running so well, and now he has fallen down to 17th.
Oh, look at this. Herta and Ericsson going at it.
Ericsson's coming back on Colton Herta. Who's going to be braver in a 3? It's Colton Herta.
Clear.
Whoa, gets a little loose in the center of the corner as well. Went in there with a lot of speed. VK also having a look as well.
That battle between those two guys will really help Award and Dixon with a little bit of breathing room when they do decide to pit, as we see the replay again of Ericsson making the move down the front straightaway to the high side.
That was there on the outside. Looks like got a little bit loose. Herta hung tough on the bottom and was able to keep it little loose right there coming off the corner for Ericsson.
It's difficult to articulate, but in this section of the track where we did our pre-race show up the top of the grandstand, you look down on this, it looks like they're going around the outside of a dining room table. It is tight, and they're approaching there, broaching 200 miles an hour. Top 2 are in. Pato Award, Scott Dixon, final stop of the race, or what should be.
And the battle will be on pit stops for sure. Let's see what happens.
So this is very likely going to go a long ways towards determining the race. Pato O'Ward, the 21-year-old Mexican, is going to hit his box first. Scott Dixon has the advantage of being pit out, an easy in for him. O'Ward's Aero McLaren crew has another really strong stop. Now he's going to race. Can the Chip Ganassi Racing PNC Bank crew beat him, and they will!
He got him.
Ganassi gets out first. Dixon takes over control.
I thought that was an amazing stop by the McLaren team, but Dixon just laid it down on those guys.
That's what 30 years of IndyCar racing will do. Chip Ganassi Racing celebrating its 30th anniversary. There's Chip, and he'll be pumped about that. Disappointed last week not to win the 500. Dixon was frustrated that the race didn't finish under green, but maybe he will make up for it. Well, nothing makes up for not winning the 500, but this will go a long way if he can get another win and extend his championship points lead. He came in here with an 84-point buffer.
Hey, also a note on Will Power. He came in way early. Well, we found out they had a right rear puncture, so it wasn't just trying to really do something different on strategy, and maybe it's a little iffy. They can get there. So Newgarden in and out, and Sato gives up the lead of the race. Remember, he won this last year, but that's going to be slow on the right rear. So any chance they had to be able to do the overcut by staying out longer and gain track position probably went away there by just losing a teeny bit of time on pit lane.
Here comes Dixon.
Didn't lose a ton of time, but he's still going to cycle out, I think, inside the top 5 or 6. But
I think he might be top 3.
He had a shot there, and maybe even coming out in the lead with the way that stop went. But look, he cycles out in 3rd right now. So without that mistake, he could have grabbed the lead on that.
Absolutely. Herder's going to be all over him, though, on this run up the front straight. Is Colton Herden close enough to do anything about Sato?
Good job.
Sato's up to speed very effectively in that Honda for Rahal Letterman Lanigan Racing. Good work.
Curtis 5 back now.
These guys are all stacked up on top of each other now, running quick laps.
Paul, to your point, Sato's only 2.3 seconds back of Dixon. He must have lost more than that on pit lane.
Easily, because the outside rear had a problem getting the nut on, and it was definitely very late. So that was really a shot at the win right there. Hate to add insult to injury, but that's the guy that was changing the tire. And he was shaking his head right after the pit stop. He was so frustrated when the car left.
Well, there's always so much pressure put on the team members to perform. It's hot. There's a lot of pressure.
But hey, 3rd place
is still
would be terrific for Sato. Let's watch this again.
Out. The outside, you'll see him start fumbling around here. So he can't get the nut off right there. It's not coming off, gets it off. And then getting it back on was a problem. So he easily lost a couple seconds here. That could have been the winning move.
I just timed that at 11.3 seconds. So
here we go.
Sato, though.
Inside.
It don't matter.
Whoa! Hold on, both of you.
Clear.
Are you kidding me? Takuma Sato, that was awesome.
The Indy 500 champ, he wants another win.
Big picture. You're okay.
And he just laid it on the line there to Pato O'Ward.
Paul,
that was back to the wild thing.
We've seen some big moves here at Worldwide Technology Raceway. We've never seen this.
Big runoff with turn 4, timed it perfectly. Pato tried to protect the inside. Sato's got the momentum, but turns in. He's still there. Huge save by Pato O'Ward.
They're by 15.
That was incredible.
Oh,
how about that, Kev?
Hey, Townsend, remember that conversation we had with Takuma earlier when I asked him about championship wins? He said, no, I really want to finish up as high as I can in the championship. We'll take wins if they're available, but I'm thinking big picture. No, he's still going after it, and that's fun to watch.
You know, we talk about Rossi going angry fast, Alexander Rossi after issues, but Takuma Sato, after that unfortunate pit stop, has hit the reset button, and he says, you know, I still have a chance. And now Sato going after Dixon with authority.
The same two who finished in the top 2 a week ago for the Indianapolis 500. Here they are, less than a week later, fighting for the win in the first of the doubleheader days in the NTT IndyCar Series here in St. Louis. And what is the gap? 1.2 seconds, and it's come down from 1.5. Sato is reeling Dixon in.
0.3 of a second quicker on that lap, 0.2 on this lap, James. If I'm Dixon, I better have eyes in the back of my head.
Yeah, but as you know, guys, catching is one thing and passing is another, and there's no guy tougher to pass than Scott Dixon. But I just got to say, I mean, what 500 hangover? Normally, it's almost a curse, the race after the 500 for the guy that won it. But Takuma Sato is coming here and proving that he has still got the energy to fight up front, really taking the fight to Scott Dixon. No doubt helped out by reduced media commitments this week. But, man, super impressive performance coming off a 500 win.
Jumps up to 4th now in the championship from 6th. So right now, tracking the best of his career in terms of championship.
0.8 of a second now is the gap.
Nobody knows how to keep somebody behind better than Scott Dixon. An absolute master at managing these situations.
Yeah, he's an absolute master at just managing the gap and managing the distance, but I don't think he wants to get too close to the lap cars in front of him because he's doing enough right now to just keep Sato behind him.
He's slowed down about half a second, Scott Dixon has, over these last 2 laps.
He's
2.5 to go.
Like I said, I think he's just managing the gap. He doesn't want to catch those guys.
Oh, Sato with a good run.
What a tough situation. You don't want to get too close, but you know you've got this guy, the Indy 500 champ, breathing down your neck. 2.5 miles to go.
He's getting closer. He's reeling him in. This is as close as he's been. He's really got to just set this corner up and get the exit.
And you know that Sato will not be afraid to have a go. White flag coming up.
Oh, boy.
One more lap here in St. Louis.
One more lap.
Can Scott Dixon do it for win number 50, or will Sato win in back-to-back weeks and back-to-back years here at Worldwide Technology Raceway? It's going to be tough from now.
He just washed up the track a little bit, but he's still right there. Dixon's got dirty air.
Dixon's as close as he's been to dirty air in front. Sato with a run off turn 4.
Scott Dixon is going to be the 11th different winner here from 11 races. Unbelievable finish. Dixon is a 50-time IndyCar winner and gets some semblance of revenge for last weekend in another thriller.
Good job there, man.
Between Dixon and Sato.
What a race. And that, guys, that would have been a completely different scenario if it wasn't for the bad pit stop on Sato's final stop.
No doubt. Sato should have been to the front easily, but so many times this year we've seen pit lane. The drama, the anxiety, the pressure on pit lane has just been at an all-time high in this 2020 season. But once again, that 9 crew, they know how to get it done. They have so much winning experience.
So the list was already short. It was A.J. Foyt, Mario Andretti. That doesn't change. Scott Dixon is still 3rd on that list, but this is a big round number. What does 50 mean to you, Scott?
It's totally awesome. I can't thank the PNC Bank crew enough. You know, that was superb race all day. Sato was coming strong at the end, and I didn't realize how strong he was coming. And we were kind of going into a bit of reserve mode, look after the engine, and then he was coming with a head of steam. So just so happy for this team. You know, last week at Indianapolis was a bit of a bummer. So it was nice to get a win. 50, that sounds awesome. Got to keep on trucking and get a few more, but can't thank Honda enough too. Honda and HPD. Proud to be, powered by them, and what they've done, especially this year, is just phenomenal, and how quick their cars have been. So this is awesome. Thank you.
Talk about the adjustment from from Indianapolis, and this is an oval, but that's the only similarity, and how different this is and how challenging it is.
Yeah, I definitely found it, the first time I went kind of fast around here on yesterday, and you go into the corner and the loadings are just so different, so high, and then so long as well. Indianapolis is kind of quick sort of jolts at it, but that's what's so cool about the NTT IndyCar Series, is that you have so many different disciplines. Normally we go from Indianapolis to the duel in Detroit, but it's so cool to be here in St. Louis, and a huge thank you to all the fans here coming out. We know it's difficult times, and we thank you so much for sticking by us.
You were right there in the hunt all race and may have still gotten to the front on the track, but you got the lead in the pits. Does that seem appropriate that you celebrate a big milestone with your pit crew having a lot to do with it?
Yeah, he was definitely pushing hard. I could tell that he was quite quick on a sort of a 5 to 10 lap pace. Pato, I hadn't seen Sato the whole race. He obviously was pretty quick as well. And the Wolfpack there on the 9-car, PNC Van crew there just nailed it on that last stop and were able to pop out. And that's what you got to do. You got to make these situations work. And, another big day for points too, which is great.
Well done. Win number 50 puts Scott Dixon a good way towards championship number 6.